Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen when you focus on what is good. Because if you are sitting around complaining and if you are focused on the negative things, that's not beneficial. So focus on what is good. If you are out there traveling about today, make sure you say a prayer. It never hurts to pray. Make sure you keep yourself safe and your family members safe. Yes. And make sure you stay focused. Don't be on your phone too much, because when you are out in the public and you are on your phone too much, that's a distraction. So keep yourself safe. I always remind you of these things because I care. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. Well, the title of this episode is Unleash Creativity for Endless Inspiration. I'm going to read that again. Unleash creativity for endless inspiration. That's right. All of us have creative abilities. We have the gifts and talents that God has given us. Yes, some of us are great at singing, dancing, art, sports, writing. All of us have different types of gifts and talents. Some of us find out what our gifts and talents are when we are very young, and then some of us find out what our gifts and talents are as we get older. But the point of what I'm saying is this: recognize what your gifts and talents are. Think about what you do best. Are you a great writer? Are you good at art? Do you like to sing? Do you like to dance? Are you good at writing great stories? Do you have a voice? A voice to inspire others? Do you like to design clothes? What are your creative abilities? Think about that. Yes. Think about it by simply writing some things down. Write some things down according to what you like, what you're best at. Write it down. And as you write it down, think about it. And pray about it. That's right. I said it. Pray about it. Why? Because God is the creator, and he has given us the ability to be creative. So by praying about it, you really get the advantage to understand how to operate in your gifts and your talents. There are many different types of gifts and talents. Many people are gifted to sing, and then many people are talented to dance. But your gift and your talents may not be dancing or singing. It could be anything. Because when you look at society, it's filled with gifted people. When you walk through the streets and you look at the way houses are built, somebody drew the pattern for the house to be built. When you look at a car, somebody drew the pattern for the car to be built. When you look at a computer, somebody drew a pattern or came up with an idea for us to be able to have access to the internet and function and use a computer. Think about that. All of us have gifts and talents to function with so that we can be fulfilled. Some people unfortunately, they never get to really know what their gifts and talents are because they settle for less. And you don't have to settle for less. You don't have to settle for less by being on a job or doing something that you really don't want to do. But what I'm really saying is this: be motivated to function with your gifts and your talents. Because when you function with your gifts and talents, you are being the greatest part of you. That's right. You are being the greatest part of you, and you are operating in your divine purpose. When I was a little girl, I wanted to play instruments. When I was in the third or fourth grade, I wanted to play instruments. And for some reason, my music teacher was encouraging me to play drums. Now, I didn't want to play no drums back then because many girls and women didn't play drums back then. But my music teacher influenced me to play the drums. And so I did. And that just encouraged my love for music. And as it encouraged my love for music as I got older, my mom inspired me more and more to keep going. And I know that that's one of my loves is music. One of my gifts is music, that I can create music. I sing, I do all that stuff and studied it in college. And then I started reflecting and thinking about other things I could do. So I'm saying all this to say that you have the ability to do the same thing by unleashing your creativity. You have the ability to do so as you recognize what your gifts are. Sometimes people don't recognize what their gifts are because they focus too much on their failures. They focus on what they didn't do when they were much younger. They focus on their mistakes. And that's not good, because it doesn't matter how old you are to function in your gifts and talents. You're still here. It doesn't matter how old you are. As long as you are here, you have the ability to function with your gifts and talents. Cultivate your curiosities and sit down and ask yourself questions so that you can know what your abilities are. Step out of your comfort zone. A lot of times people don't step out of their comfort zones. They stay in the same routine of things, and they just do the same thing over and over and over, and months go by and years go by, and there's no change to anything. So step outside of your comfort zone. Keep a creative journal of ideas and things that inspire you to create. Plan projects, future projects, short-term goals, long-term goals. That's right. Set aside a time to be creative and find out what fuels you to be creative. As you spend time reflecting and writing things down, you will start to see what you do best, because once you write down 10 things and you begin to read what you have written, then you will start to think about, well, yes, I do. I am good at this. I am good at that. You will start to see. When I was in high school, I took journalism and public speaking. And when I was in high school, I never knew that one day I would be some type of public speaker. Actually, I wanted to be an anchor woman when I was in high school because I love the news. But when I took those classes, I didn't know that it was going to prepare me for this moment to speak to people publicly. Now I love public speaking. That's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, is because I love public speaking. I love it. I love inspiring people. I know that is one gift that God gave to me. That's a talent. So I want to encourage you. Explore what you know about yourself. Think about it a little bit deeper. Believe in yourself and take the time to be creative. Collaborate with others to share ideas and perspectives to generate creativity. And when you find out what your gifts and talents are, it's going to give you more and more and more joy. Because I believe, personally, I believe that God gave us gifts and talents so that we can be fulfilled in our purpose. Because when you do what you love to do and when you do what you're good at doing, it's no longer work. It's not work in that kind of way. It's just something you love to do. You know, as I was talking to my niece earlier today, I said to her, the only time God worked is when he created something. And that's real. Work is supposed to be our creativity. Because when we create, we are the most happiest. That's right. When we create, we are the most happiest. And when we create, we are inspired. So don't look at what you didn't do according to your failures and your mistakes. Don't look at that. Cultivate your curiosity. Step outside your comfort zone. Keep a creative journal. Collaborate with others. Set aside time to be creative. And you can also explore different art forms. As I realized I had a love for music when I was a little girl, I continued my music journey by joining the choir at church. Yes, I sang in the choir at church. And then I sang in the choir in college. And my music journey just continued more and more and more. Yes. I sang with jazz bands and just good stuff that made me happy. And it still makes me happy now. And it's very fulfilling. It's very fulfilling to be able to create music and to be able to create anything. It's fulfilling. And you have the same ability. So make sure you don't let 1 week or 1 day go by without creating something. I don't care what it is. Take the time to understand you have something to contribute to others that's a design from you. That's right. You have something to contribute to others that is a design from you. All of us have a specific design over our lives. And that creativity is all of who we are according to what we create for others. So, that's all I have to say about that. And I want to send a shout out to my niece, Maggie. Thank you for inspiring me to talk about this topic because this is needed. A lot of people need to be encouraged to understand they are an asset. But we all have to understand also how and we must use our creative ability. We must understand how and know we must use our creative abilities. So, thank you so much for tuning in to listen to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com. You can find me on Facebook, X. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts. And as I stated earlier, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo SB Favor. Have a good weekend. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you share this podcast with others. Have a good day.